Today I'm reacting to your Monday Night Raw Hot Takes. Hot Takes is a weekly video series where I give you all a platform to be able to voice your thoughts, whether those are good thoughts, bad thoughts, or everything in between about the world of professional wrestling. So if you'd like to be featured in the next episode of Hot Takes, make sure that you're following me on X because I ask for your hot takes there after every episode of Raw, SmackDown, and every single WWE Premium Live event. And we will be doing one for Saturday night's main event. I know it's not a Premium Live event, but we're going to count it anyway. As always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I know that you're going to fall in love with his YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. And don't forget, if you are looking for my full review of this particular episode of Monday Night Raw, all 30 minutes are up and available on Patreon with footage so that you can see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. That's patreon.com/SantiZab. Link in the description, link in the pinned comment. Let's read your stupid shit. When all the pretty girls are coming after you, you know you're a legend. Dom is greater than James Bond. Here's the thing, I've already known this for a really long time. I've known for a long time that the true prize of the WWE isn't main eventing WrestleMania, championships, or any other sorts of glory and accolades. It's being alongside Dominic Mysterio. That's why all the top women in the division are lining up to be with Dominic. Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and now we have Roxanne Perez. And to them I say, I do not blame you. But jokes aside, this is really interesting to have Roxanne Perez being inserted into a faction that already has several years of life in the WWE. To me, I think that this is a big vote of confidence from the WWE for Roxanne Perez to insert her to work alongside so many established names. But it's also going to create some very interesting friction. Obviously, we're going to get some stuff between Dom and Roxanne Perez. We know that Dom has been tempted by the forbidden fruit before. They literally did this storyline last year, and it was one of the biggest storylines of the summer. We're obviously going to have friction between Roxanne and Liv Morgan because Roxanne's probably going to keep getting Dominic Mysterio more gifts. But all of this, to me, is just a ploy from big brain Finn Balor to really assert and usurp all of his dominance and power over the Judgment Day and really continue to undermine the power that Dominic Mysterio has been able to accumulate within the group since winning at WrestleMania. There's some interesting stuff here, and honestly, I can't wait to see how all of this develops. I'm curious how much longer we are without Liv Morgan because this storyline will truly, really pick up when Liv Morgan comes back. Just like how we were waiting for Rhea Ripley to come back when all of the Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio stuff kept happening during matches and in backstage segments. We were all just sort of waiting and anticipating the return of Rhea Ripley to see how all of that would implode. And now I think we're going to be getting the same thing, but now with the world turned upside down with Liv Morgan maybe becoming a babyface out of all of this. It seems like Damage Control has been quietly finished with Kyrie's return not even being acknowledged by Io. I thought this was kind of weird. I thought that there was going to be a moment between Io and Kyrie, especially because we did have an Io Sky backstage interview. I thought that was going to be the perfect place for her to maybe wish Kyrie Zayn good luck or welcome her back. I'm not surprised that Damage Control is like officially dead, done, and buried, considering that Dakota Kai has been released by the WWE. Asuka is still out with injury. Bayley's no longer in the group. I feel like that group has been properly retired and that Io's focus is going to be a singles run, and probably that'll be the same thing probably for Kyrie Zayn and maybe even Asuka when she comes back. But yeah, I would have liked to see a little moment between Io Sky and Kyrie Zayn. That would have been nice. Kyrie deserved to win when she came back. She got a loud pop and everything from the crowd, even chanting "Let's go Kyrie" for a good moment. They fumbled her return by taking a pin. They need to fix it ASAP before this unique moment of her fades away. Let's make some noise for Kyrie. Hey, I'm here to make noise for Kyrie Zayn. I love Kyrie Zayn. She is one of my favorites in the women's division, has been for a really long time. However, I don't think that they've buried Kyrie Zayn. I feel like her taking the pin here is all entirely circumstantial. We'll talk more about Zoe Stark and what happened there, but if I'm just trying to be logical here, I don't think that WWE advertised Kyrie Zayn's return to give her, you know, that pirate theme, entrance theme, to give her a return like on live TV, not during commercials, just to have her be pinned by Rhea Ripley. I think the plan was always for Rhea Ripley to win, but to pin Zoe Stark. But obviously what happened with Zoe Stark forced everything to pivot, and unfortunately the only remaining option if you still want Rhea to win is for her to pin Kyrie Zayn. I don't think that this is indicative of how WWE is necessarily going to be treating Kyrie Zayn. I don't think that this was the plan. I think that this is an audible and a last minute change so that they can still get to the end result of Rhea Ripley being qualified for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Sami is turning on CM Punk at Saturday night's main event. He's the third man. Sami brings incredible emotion to everything that he does. Oh, Dave, oh, Dave, oh, Dave, oh, Dave. You know how many times, it's actually only a total of 2 times, but both of those times, I was like you. This big thing is gonna happen at Saturday night's main event. This big swerve, this big championship change, this heel turn, this reveal. It doesn't happen at Saturday night's main event. It's not gonna happen at Saturday night's main event. I'm not opposed to the idea of Sami Zayn turning, by the way. I think I would love for WWE to explore that. It ain't happening at Saturday night's main event, though. Paul should have become an MMA fighter with this stance. First of all, that is a solid stance right there. You know, it's pretty good. You can jab, you can hook. All I'm saying is that this man learned from the hard school of knocks of the Miz's dad. No comment, no hot take, just push Karrion Kross. I'm here for it. I was expecting Karrion Kross. We got his t-shirt on sale in the arenas, and we still have not gotten Karrion Kross. We'll talk a little bit more about the stuff that happened with Tyrese Hallebertton, and I have no proof to back this up. This is just a gut feeling that I have. Maybe somebody can actually do the math here, but I think that Karrion Kross may have had less cumulative time on TV than Tyrese Hallebertton had in that entire segment. That Tyrese Halleberton segment was like 4 minutes. I don't think that we've seen Karrion Kross for more than 4 minutes since what happened at WrestleMania. Roxy would be the perfect Money in the Bank winner. I agree. I think there's multiple great options, but WWE created a great blueprint finally for creating a top women's star with the Money in the Bank briefcase. They've done it for the last couple of times. They did it great with Io Sky. They did it great with Tiffany Stratton, and now they have an opportunity to do it again with somebody like a Roxanne Perez. Like I said, I'm saying there's multiple options, but I think Roxanne Perez is one of those that fits the mold really well, that will allow WWE to replicate what they've done with the likes of Io and Tiffany Stratton in recent memory. Theory getting a babyface reaction tonight. If this keeps up, I think they're just gonna turn him babyface and find someone else to be the third man in Seth's faction. So I'm slowly starting to wane on the idea that Theory might be the third man in Seth's faction, and it's partly because of what you're saying here. The man is getting slightly over every single week as a babyface. He's doing more and more babyface-ish things. He was a little bit comical on this last episode of Monday Night Raw, and I just don't see the paths of this current rise of babyface Theory and Seth Rollins' heel faction coming together anytime soon. I think this might just straight up be a solo babyface Theory run. You'd think that with Kross being a top merch seller that you'd have him on the show, but I guess not. Instead, you put NBA players on that don't need to be on the show. I did feel like this was a little bit tone deaf. I don't really think that this was necessary to be on the show, in my opinion. This collaboration with Tyrese Hallebertton, who, by the way, I really like. I'm not a fan of the Pacers or anything like that, but Tyrese Halleberton as a player and the person that he has presented himself as an NBA superstar is somebody that I really like and frankly admire, but this is not really anything that should have been on TV. This would have hit better as a social media post on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, whatever it might be. Because when you put this on TV, like, think about this for a second. First of all, not every fan of WWE that's watching Monday Night Raw is one like North American that watches specifically the NBA. And even if there are those that watch the NBA and the WWE, not all of them are Tyrese Halleberton and Indiana Pacer fans. And then not all of them play WWE 2K. So you read this segment was really targeted to a very small niche minority of people that were watching that episode of Monday Night Raw. In my opinion, something like this is far more valuable at bringing in new eyeballs into the product by putting this on social media and trying to cast a net for those NBA fans that have never seen WWE before. That would be far more valuable than wasting 4.5 minutes on this on the episode of Monday Night Raw when not just Kross, but other people like Ludwig Kaiser are struggling to get TV time. Oh my God! Oh! Okay, that was filthy. That was and beautiful. Man, I love that spirit bomb. Oh yeah. Woo! Oh, that, folks, was a sneak peek of this week's Wrestling is Cool Match Club, available exclusively on patreon.com/SantiZap. This week, we're looking at maybe the most insane backyard wrestling match that I've ever seen from BXW Backyard Wrestling. John Cena versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 23. CM Punk versus Raven from Ring of Honor in a Clockwork Orange Funhouse match. Keith Lee versus Penta from AAW Pro. And Will Ospreay versus Speedball Mike Bailey from TNA back in 2020. 2021. You're going to be getting all of this, plus the Raw reviews, the SmackDown reviews, the Wrestling is Cool podcast 3 days earlier than everywhere else, the currently ongoing Royal Rumble watch-alongs that we're doing, and now we're starting a new series where we're watching every single John Cena WWE Championship victory of his career. So come check it out. That's patreon.com/SantiZap. There's a link in the description or a link in the pinned comment. I'm confident that if you try it even for just 1 month, that you are going to fall in love with the content and the community. But that's enough. If you're already a patron, thank you so much for your support. Let's get you back to the video. Not a hot take, but prayers out for Zoe Stark. Obviously, the most important thing is the health of Zoe Stark. So prayers up to Zoe Stark. I sincerely hope that you have the speediest possible recovery. That was one of the gnarliest, most gruesome injuries that I've ever seen in any sport, let alone WWE. In the last 23 years that I've been watching WWE, that was probably the most awful injury that I've seen. I didn't watch the Big E injury live. Otherwise, that probably would be higher on the list of more traumatizing injuries that I've seen. But this is up there. Again, not just in WWE, but in sports in general. Again, I sincerely hope that her road to recovery is as easy as possible. I want to hope for best case scenarios here. The way that looked, obviously, I want to jump to all of the worst case scenarios, but all I can do is hope and wish a speedy recovery and hope and wish for all of the best case scenarios regarding this knee injury, because it looked bad. Rhea does not need to be in the Money in the Bank. Kyrie could have had a great showing, but Rhea has to be shoved down our throats. I'm kind of tired with the notion that Rhea is shoved down our throats. Dude, she is the most popular female superstar in the WWE. What do you do with the most popular anything? You put them in front of people because that's what people want. You might not like Rhea Ripley, but do you hear the loud, thunderous, loudest pop of the night whenever Rhea Ripley comes out? She is insanely popular. Of course she's going to be presented as strong. Of course she's going to be in the main event scene, because that's a formula that's worked from the dawn of time for anything that's entertainment related. Let's just look at wrestling. Whoever gets the loudest pop, whoever's the most popular, is usually going after world titles all the time. People didn't complain that, oh my God, they're shoving Stone Cold Steve Austin down our throats. Oh my God, they're shoving X, Y. No, man. I don't know why we're getting this narrative now all of a sudden in 2025 about Rhea Ripley. Is she in the world title picture all the time? Yes, she is the most popular female on the roster. That is a formula that has worked for the men for forever. I love how they're continuing the Becky versus Lyra feud. This is definitely going to set up a SummerSlam match between these two, and I think Bayley is going to get involved and make it a triple threat. Yeah, it's possible. I think we could get a triple threat between all three women. I think that this triple threat would be fantastic. I did kind of see it a mile away that Lyra Valkyria was going to interrupt the match. I just saw it clear as day. As soon as I saw Natalya there, I knew Natalya was there to take the pin. And as soon as I knew that Becky Lynch was in this match, without having resolved anything with Lyra Valkyria, I had a feeling Lyra was going to get involved to continue that feud to give Roxy the ability to pick up the win. So they were a little bit too easy to telegraph and a little bit predictable with how they shaped that match, even though the match was really good. But again, I'm glad that the Women's Intercontinental Championship is still steamrolling ahead with some interesting narratives and storytelling. Zoe's injury may have come at a terrible time, with both her PFC teammates now being released from the company. Zoe is now a few years into the main roster, and her contract could be coming up soon. I really hope that this isn't the last that we see of her in the WWE. I agree. I don't want this to be the last time that we see Zoe Stark, but if recent injuries are anything to go off of, you look at Charlotte Flair, her torn ACL, the busted knee for Ilya Dragunov. Charlotte was out for over a year. Ilya Dragunov scheduled to be out for a year, and I can only imagine that that's going to be the same case for Zoe Stark, if not longer, unfortunately. But yeah, this really is just a situation of when it rains, it pours. It's just been nothing but bad news recently for Zoe Stark, and this is just such an awful way to accentuate all of this terrible stuff that's been going on. Natalya absolutely carried in that Money in the Bank qualifier match with Becky and Roxy. Holy hell, did she ever? Natalya feels like she's got this new wind, this new breath of fresh air, and I think it's her work in NWA and in GCW Bloodsport. I just feel like there's a little bit more of a snap from Natalya. I thought that she was fantastic in that match, and I think I would agree. I think she was the best performer in that match from a physical perspective. I think the El Grande Americana story has just run its course, and it feels like it's lasting longer than it was originally supposed to. All he's been doing is interfering in every luchador match in the exact same way. It's so stale, and I hope that it ends at World's worlds collide. I still think that there's more to the El Grande Americana storyline that could be unpacked, that could be more interesting, but I have to agree, it's been very repetitive, especially over the last 5 weeks. It's just been constantly interfering with Penta. I would like to see a little bit more here, something with a little bit more substance than just the continuous interaction and interference in Penta matches. I'm getting a little bit tired of this too. This crowd tonight rocked, and other North American cities need to learn from them. Also, love the videos. Thank you so much for the compliment. And yeah, this crowd was awesome. You guys made a ton of noise basically for the entire night. Chants left, right, and center. You didn't rely on just simple what chants. And you guys singing the CM Punk entrance theme, Cult of Personality, after it stopped playing. That was something straight out of European crowd. So shout out to you guys. You guys were awesome tonight. I think Jey Uso had legitimate championship aura. Him yeeting because he's the champion and not just because he likes yeeting works. He feels like the man. I think he feels like the man not just because he's yeeting because he's a champion. I feel like right now Jey Uso does, like you said, feel like the man of the main roster on Monday Night Raw, because WWE is doing such a much better job of booking a good cast of supporting characters to his championship run, something that they weren't able to do with Gunther. Jay's championship run is already being booked better than Gunther's entire championship run was. We have all kinds of names going after Jey Uso. We got Logan Paul, Seth Rollins. Looming right there is whoever wins the Money in the Bank briefcase. And of course, you got to count other names that might jump into the picture as well. I just loved the revolving cast of villains that are coming after Jey Uso, because it just makes Jey Uso feel like a champion that has to fight and claw to keep his championship. And every time that he's able to retain it, it just increases his stock even more as a fighting champion. After Logan's promo to start the show with Gunther, I kind of want him to beat Jay at Saturday night's main event. He really hooked me there on that match. So you kind of fell for what WWE was doing here. They sent out Gunther to have an honestly really entertaining segment with Logan Paul to try and make you believe that Logan Paul might actually have an opportunity at defeating Jey Uso, trying to create a visualization of what Gunther and Logan Paul might look like, so that again, you don't think that it's just a foregone conclusion that Jey Uso is going to win. It's a foregone conclusion. Jey Uso is going to win, but at the very least, I can appreciate WWE for actually making an effort at creating drama between Logan Paul and Jey Uso and making us believe that there might be a chance that some drama or craziness could happen in this match, even though I'm still not buying it. I don't think that he would ever be a face, but it seemed like Gunther started getting a little bit tweener turn after shutting down Logan Paul and Seth Rollins. I really thought the same thing. I was like, this is about as babyface as a Gunther has ever been. In both of those interactions, Gunther was the good guy. He was out there to clown and threaten the most hated guy in the WWE right now in Logan Paul, and he was turning down and shutting down and not afraid of the guy that's maybe the most dangerous guy in the WWE right now in Seth Rollins. That's some babyface shit, if you ask me. Similar to you, I don't see it happening, but maybe there is a world where he could kind of play an in-between role, kind of depending on whoever it is that he's facing. I get Rhea is the bigger star in that qualifier match, but I feel like the match with opportunities such as Money in the Bank should be given to talent that needs that elevation to that low main / mid-card spot. I just hope that they don't waste the Money in the Bank and give it to a main eventer. Okay, so this logic, I actually completely agree with. Here's the thing. Somebody like Rhea Ripley, she doesn't need a briefcase because she basically is a human version of a briefcase. She can get championship opportunities whenever she wants. She's already the most popular act in the women's division. She's already been part of the women's championship scene pretty much for like 18 months straight. I can't remember the last non-championship feud that Rhea Ripley has had, for God's sake. So putting something like a plot device that gives you a championship opportunity and giving it to Rhea Ripley does seem kind of redundant when at any moment Rhea Ripley can just get a championship opportunity and it would just make sense, frankly. So I'm with you. I don't think that Rhea Ripley needs to be winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. I'm not against her being in the match. I just hope she doesn't win it because she doesn't need it. Why spoil Kyrie's return and try to make a big deal of it if the main eventer is going to qualify regardless? This felt like a smack to the face of fans of Kyrie, especially knowing that she can put on a show. This sentiment I can also agree with. I feel like the solution here was to not put Kyrie Zayn in this match. I would have liked Kyrie Zayn to maybe come back and maybe have a singles match with somebody like an Ivy Nile, someone that she can actually pick up a win against. But here, it was always designed for her to lose. It maybe wasn't designed for her to take the pin. Obviously, things changed and she had to take the pin. But I think maybe the fair solution here would have been for just Kyrie Zayn to not be in this qualifying match. This Penta and AJ Styles tag team has to be a full-time thing. They could have some of the the best matches of all time against SmackDown guys before the Penta heel turn and Lucha Bros formation. P.S. Absolutely shame that they lost the match. See, I actually disagree. I don't want this. I would rather them be single stars, and if we are going to do a tag team with Penta, do the right one, do the Lucha Brothers, and don't tie down AJ Styles, who's already in maybe the last 12 months of his career, potentially, tying him down to a tag team that doesn't necessarily really have the legs for very long, considering, as you said, we're just sort of waiting for something else for Penta anyway, so I'd rather they stay as singles. Buy your Logan Paul stocks, people. I'm telling you, his crowd control tonight was incredible and continues to prove why he's one of the WWE's most valuable assets. I dare you to tell me I'm wrong. I won't tell you you're wrong, because I do agree that there's a lot of value in Logan Paul, but the internet will tell you that you're wrong, because my goodness, this guy is public enemy number one with the would-be called internet wrestling community. If you say anything positive about Logan Paul, you may as well just be Logan Paul yourself, folks. All right, folks, we will leave it there. Thank you so very much for watching this episode of Hot Takes. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Goodbye. Get out of here.